Hey everybody. How you all doing? Back to the bush. It is Saturday. Big torrential rain coming tonight again. Lots of wind, lots of rain, all the other stuff. And today is go up there and try to get some of these 10 sheets of drywall up on the slope ceiling. It's going to be fun. Have not looked forward to this. It's been 6 years. The ceiling has been insulated. Getting tired of looking at it up there. You can see it all smoke stained now and that from the wood stove every time you open the door, and any draft, if there's any kind of air leak pulling out because I got a ridge vent in it, then it will eventually, and that's why you'll see some darker areas up here, and it's all it is. It's not mold, trust me. That is from 6 years of opening the wood stove door and a bit of backdraft here and there and all that. So, oh boy, best part is 27 degrees in here right now. It's only, well, it's 11 in the morning on Saturday, so I better get my act together because I didn't even get up there yet. And I'm down here, just finished breakfast and all that. Oh boy, it's going to be an adventure. It's going to be a day. What I'm going to try to do is take you guys up there with me. I'm going to try to show you a little bit of the process anyway. The way I'm going to try to do it is I got to put a strip of 2x4 along the very bottom because I've got a little miniature wall. I basically dropped my loft floor down just a bit from the top of the wall, so to give me a little more headroom up there. So I've got probably a 6-inch wall up there that I have to bring the drywall down to the top edge, but I can't have it slide right to the floor, so that makes it even more difficult. So I'm going to have to put a 2x4 temporary on the wall to hold the 2x4, to hold the sheet of drywall when it goes down against it, and then I will make a dead man or something, probably to jam in to hold it in place. The first piece, the low one, I can probably just sit in the floor and use my knees and get a couple screws in and then just screw her down, right? The second piece up, I'm going to, once I have the drywall, the first sheet, I'm going to overlap a board or a 2x4 or something, leave a bit of a gap, so I can slide the piece into that to lock it on, and then put the 2 screws in that piece, or 3 to hold it, whatever, and then screw her on. The one at the peak is going to be the hardest. And I'm going to have to try the same kind of affair, I think, is have something I can hook the lower edge of it on, get it up into the peak, get a couple screws to hold it, and hopefully I don't do a Davy Dum-Dum and end up getting a sheet of drywall on the head up here today. That probably wouldn't be real fun. So we're going to go from there. So stay tuned, hang around, and see how this one goes. This could be one of my best videos yet. No idea, boys. I just wing her when I come here, so. Wonderful to see. I posted a video last evening. I've already had 5 or 6 subscribers bang overnight new ones again. It's so wonderful to have you guys along. This is not a how-to show. This is a how I do it show. If anybody can learn from anything I'm doing on here, that's wonderful. If you have anything you want to add to it, I'd really appreciate that. And I get wonderful comments from the people that view my videos. I am in no way an expert in any of this. I do small engine repair. I'm a licensed mechanic for that. I guess I could consider myself an expert. I've done it 33 years. Carpentry, plumbing, all this other general stuff you do with your hands. I'm well versed at it, and I have a pretty good skill set, I'm proud to say. So I've worked hard to get where I'm at. But anyway, that's not to gloat or anything. It's just I'm lucky I don't have to pay people to do this stuff. So again, let's go upstairs and try to get this in order, and let's see what kind of mess we can make, and hopefully not, you know, have to be taken into the hospital today, because I'm here alone, so I don't even have my cats. I didn't want to bring them here to freak them out too much. So they're home, and it's got a very quiet weekend, but we'll talk to you guys in a bit once I get upstairs. Oh man, it is so cozy up here. I don't want to do nothing. It is wonderful. It's warm, it's cozy, but I got to get up and I got to get at her. Let's do this. Well, everybody, nappy time is over. It is time to get her done here. I can't even get a 2x4 down there. It's not enough width. It's narrower than I thought because of the angle. You can see I've got a piece of drywall here. I just used it as a guide to go down. So I've got a couple old pieces of board down there. So what I'm going to have to do with the first piece is just going to have to kind of go in flat that way, sitting on it, because my batteries are right over here, right? So I got to go up, and then I got to slide it that way to the wall and then start screwing it. But the thing is, before I put it up, I've got to cut the length, because it isn't quite 8 feet, I don't think, on these pieces because of the overhang, right? So they're probably going to have to be cut. And they are, just slightly. What do we got here? We go for measurement 93.5. 93, I'm going to say. Yeah, the 96 would be the outside of the wall, right? Let's see if that says 93. So I got to cut 3 inches off each strip that goes up here. So what I'm going to do is get down my... Well, I need to get a stilo. I need a pencil first, I guess, or a pen or whatever. And then I'll just use my square here to mark it, or my level, actually, my 4 foot. And we're going to go from there. And I'm going to have to flip this sheet over. But I can mark the front. It doesn't really matter. I've marked the front, marked the back, whatever. I'm going to grab a pen. Just hang on a minute here. So we're going for 93. Because the pieces should be 96. Exactly, so we're going for 93. So we're taking off 3 inches is all we got to take off. Isn't much. And I shouldn't be crawling on this because you can dimple it with your knees. I've done it before. I speak from experience. 93. There's that. Then I got to get down and get a knife to cut it, because my knife is downstairs. There you go. There's my mark. I shall return. Hang on a minute. There we go. Let's cut this drywall. I'm just going to freehand this one, I think. Try to drag it straight. Cut the line off. Is what you do. Pull it right towards you is the easiest way, obviously. That's definitely cutting the line. Well, there you go. Flip it and score it. Piece has to go over, so I guess I might as well flip it now. Try not to fall down the stairs. This is the whole tricky part, right? Because I don't want to make this a Davy Dum Dum episode. And that's the way you do it. You break it. I don't know if anybody knows here or not, but you cut the paper on one side and then it breaks on you. So let's hope this doesn't break. There we go. Didn't break her. All right. See, it's got the break in it now because I cut the other side. So all you do is you take your knife and you cut this off. And that's out of there. Now this piece is the right length. So this is where it's going to be really awkward, because I got to get this sheet over in there on top of that strip, up over, and start screwing it, and that's it. This first one's going to go in sort of easy, but oh boy, I wish I had people here today. That's all I can say. This is not going to be easy to get in, but I'll get her. And did I already lose that drill bit? The one for the drywall screws? Don't. Yes, sir. Am I ever not looking forward to this, boys? Boys and girls. This is going to be some friggin' awkward. Let's try it. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to sit in here and put my knees up to hold it. This might be easier than what it actually looks. Let's see how we do her. There you go. Like, seriously. Hey, you know, it's not that bad. Let's get a screw in, Davey. Not bad at all, to be honest. That's what's bad. This is where you need a helper to hold things. Wow. Okay, well that's silly. That wasn't that hard at all. Whoops, went deep on that guy. I'm kind of happy so far. The knees work quite well, right? So, get that in. Get her all locked in at the top first. Anybody that's never done drywall, this part here is tapered. This is narrower, skinnier here than about, I think it's about right about there. Is where the taper stops. Boys, I get enough there for my next sheet, but I should have gone just a touch more, I think. Could have come over this way a little more. But I've got enough to still get on there, so. But as a little, I may not be super, no, I'm tight over here. So, I'm right in against the wall. That was uneventful. Putting that up, not too bad so far. Piece of cake. And what I'll do is I'll screw this all on, and then I'll get ready for piece number 2. And then I'll talk to you guys in a bit, so there's no point of doing a bunch of footage of me putting screws into this, but that's a good start right there already, isn't it? Impressive. Wasn't too hard. Whew. It is warm up here, everybody. Well, there you go. First sheet is on. Nice to have, and it's all screwed on right down to along the bottom and everything. It's hard to see the screws in here. There's all kinds in it. It's not going anywhere. And it worked out good that the piece I cut off the end, 3-inch, fits exactly down there. It's just the way a lot of stuff has worked out when I built this building. It's been kind of cool because I have a very, very dear friend, an older gentleman, Ron, who passed away 6 years ago. We were very close friends, and sounds ridiculous, but I've felt like he's been with me here almost since I started building this place, right? I've had stuff that I look for, and then just turn, it's right there right in front of me. Measurements on things sometimes just work out too good. It's just, it shouldn't make sense. It shouldn't be perfect dimensions, and things seem to work out like that a lot in the building process of this place. So I almost feel that I got a helping hand from, you know, a greater power sometimes. It's almost, gets a little weird sometimes. It gets so real, but a wonderful thing to have. I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple pieces over. I'm going to use these of just board. I'm going to screw them on. So I have something to lock my next sheet into, right? But the problem is I've got to cut the hole for the light, and the light has to come down, the light socket. So I've got to do some of this next, but I'm going to get downstairs for a couple minutes and cool off, because I'm not going to kid you. I'm not going to lie to you. I am sweating hardcore. And it's probably still about 30 degrees up here. So talk to you in a bit. Alrighty, everybody, I'm back at her. It's cooled off a little bit up here. I've cooled off a little bit downstairs. I've got this piece cut for around the light. The light is down, so the lighting's not going to be as good in here. I've got a couple little strips on there, as you can see, which are hopefully going to hold the piece, the bottom of it. And here's hoping that it actually fits well where I cut it for the light. I don't know yet how good this is going to be. She's rough, so I need to get it. This is going to be probably more awkward than the first piece to get this up in. Yeah, oh yeah. They're breaking it. Man, oh man, this is awkward. How am I going to do this? Oh boy, is this ever awkward. You don't know how bad I need somebody in that end right now to try to lift this. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't want to break this piece of drywall, right? So I got to get right in the middle, I guess, and try to do it with one arm. Here we go. Okay, now the problem is, it's got to slide way over. So let's try to slide it. Oh man, I'm so afraid of it dropping on the battery bank, right? How am I doing here? Not too bad. Oh man, that's real close. I can put a screw in that, guys. That's real close. And just have to trim it around the box here. I got really close on that. I didn't do too bad at all. So I gotta make sure I get in tight over here. Tight as I'm gonna get it, I think, because the bottom is in. The gap is square. So I'm gonna put a couple screws in it to hold it. And then trim around that box. Make sure that goes in there. Right there. And I've already put acoustic sealant in the, that's what this black stuff is, you can see in there. And under the vapor barrier, so that helps seal it too. Keeps the water and drafts out and all that. Acoustic sealant. I just put that nail through. That was too much on that one. And that's what happens. You'll hear it snap like that. As it pulled right through the paper, let's put another one in. Beside it to hold it, right? But she's looking better now. Nice thing, it'll even make heating in here better. Because once all this stuff warms up, it's a big heat sink, right? It'll help keep everything warm. So, but I'm going to stop filming for now and screw this sheet on. Well, there you go, everybody. That's sheet number 2. It's all screwed on, lights back in place. I was off a little bit of my cut, and that's what drywall compound's for. Fill that hole right in easy. I've got dead man here again. I don't call him a dead man or whatever, just a guide. The next piece has to be 43 wide, so I have cut 5 inches off the length. So the tapered edge will go here, and then it'll go to the peak. And it may not even honestly be that bad. It may be the easiest one because I'm not going to be on my knees working. I can stand up and actually do this piece. So I'm going to go down, get a drink of water, sweating like crazy. It is so warm up here still. So I will talk to you guys in a few minutes. Well, here we go again, everybody. Back at her. I've got this sheet cut to shape, cut to length and width. I am praying that I don't fall down the stairs. Because if I take a step backwards here, it won't be good. So it's like one of those first steps of big one deals. So we're going to try to stay up here. I'm supposed to be. Yes. Where did it go this time? There it is here. You know what I got to do, guys? I'm going to stick it in my pocket. This is getting ridiculous. I spend more time looking for that bit. I'm sure you guys think it's silly. I don't know what the lighting is like. It's probably terrible right now. My deepest apologies. I can't do anything for you because I'm covering the light with that drywall. So, oh boy, yeah. Do this and don't fall down the hole. There's the whole idea of this. And this drill, I need somebody to pass me this, so that's impossible to do. So I got to get this piece up, get it in place, hold it in place, and get a couple screws in it again just to hold it so it doesn't go anywhere on me. At least I'm away from the battery bank. Well, sorta. Still not in a real good place for doing this, but again, with a great big hole in the floor. And if I sit the drill down, once I get up here, I don't think I can grab it again. So I have to kind of do this all in one motion, you know. This is brutal. Let's try it and see. Let's try it and see. Everybody. That in, nope. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're in. We're in. A couple screws in it. This is where it could be the ultimate Davy Dum Dum. Before I get a screw in, where are we? Right here. Right here. I'm thinking here. No. Oh shit, gotta go this way. Couple screws, everybody. She's in. Shouldn't go anywhere. Thank the good Lord above. And I cut that piece a bit shorter too, because the first two are a bit long. I'll trim this guy off. And again, anybody that didn't understand where the 4-foot is here, it's going to be right beside the, actually this one. I'm going to run a piece of slab wood all the way down over top of the drywall. I think it's going to give it a nice look, right? It will almost look like a post and beam setup, they call it. All right, well, I think I'm going to, well, this sheet's, no, there's 2 more rows, so I'm going to stop this camera for now. I forgot you guys were still watching here, so I'll talk to you in a bit. Well, guys, it is hard as hell to film up here, but anyway, here I am back at her still. I didn't show you doing this. This was an absolute pain in the butt. Had to move all my electrical stuff and that, cut out around 2 outlets. Got a bit of a gap in the corner. It's not going to matter. I'm going to be putting 8 or 10 inch wide cedar again, right down the corner, right down this strip, right down that one over there. So it's going to look good when it's all on there. I'm going to do just a bit of compound on here. Some of these little screw heads. Get them covered, and I'll probably tape what I can here. A bit of this on. I'll throw a steak on, maybe some mushrooms and onions because I have them there, and I also have a Caesar salad that I bought. I might throw that on while I'm at it too. Throw that together. Sounds like a pretty good dinner to me. Pouring rain outside now. Sounds pretty bad out there when you listen to it. The wind just picked right up. It's coming down hardcore. So, and this mesh tape is for cracks. Anybody knows, it gives you more strength than the paper stuff. I don't think anybody uses paper anymore. Maybe they do, I'm not sure. But I've always used the mesh. Well, I've done paper, but years ago when you couldn't buy this stuff. That sheet was easiest, I really have to admit, because of location, right? So, shouldn't take me too long to do this in here. I don't know if you guys can hear, but that's the rain falling on the roof. It is loud. Loud, loud, loud. Pouring rain. Not very nice day to be out around. I'm glad I'm in here working in the dry, listening to it falling on the roof. I'm glad I'm not putting the roof on. That wouldn't be very good for doing this time of year. And there we go. That's the mesh tape for there. So that's on. Whoops, I'm gonna get that piece off there. And then I just got to do the screw heads in here, which there's a few of them. I might as well put mud on them while I'm in here, right? Yep. That's an old battery. Old deep cycle is no good. I've got a couple spare inverters up here. Power inverters, in case I ever needed to have one. I got to spare everything pretty well. And I'll do a few of these little screws here. I should have got my drywall hawk, that they call it. That's that flat thing that you normally put the compound on. Call it a hawk. Come on. Wow. Well, there. She's coming now. I haven't even had my stove going all day. It's still 21 downstairs. Probably still 25 up here by the feel of it. But it will have no problem drying the drywall compound. She should dry quite well up here. There's my saggy butt. Okay, I'm going to oh my God, there's no end of it. And I was hoping to get both sides done today. That's kind of silly. I'm pretty bad on estimates sometimes. But you know what? Honestly, I didn't even start till almost lunchtime. So if I had to get at it early this morning, I would have easily had a lot more done. I might have had the whole thing done. But if you guys knew how hard I'm sweating right now, just standing here, doing this, it's pretty warm. Pretty friggin' warm up here. That's actually pretty easy to put it on, right? Again, I've got a wider drywall hock there. Or, yeah, that's your metal thing that you put it on. They call it a hock. There. First coat, just like that. That's how you put on. I got another screw's got to go in right there. Hope you guys are enjoying this foolishness. And it's not the right way to do it. It's the way I do it, though. And when I paint her and finish her, she don't look too bad when I'm done. So I guess I can do a little bit of this. Anyway. I've got metal ones, and I should add a metal one out for doing this. And again, they call this a drywall knife. I think it's what they call a spatula, but it's supposed to be a knife. And I've got good ones. They're just buried in there. Big 12-inch wide one. And I've got like I say, the metal platform at the handle there. They call it a hock. I've got one of them too. It's just buried in there. I can actually see it almost from here. The hock, they come in handy. Put your compound on. But again, this is just the sealer coat, basically the base coat. Probably 2 more over it you normally need. At least. Should look alright. There you go. That's all I'm putting on, guys. I think I'm done for today. I don't know if you can see the sweat dripping off my nose up here. But I don't even want to light the stove right now, but I have to because it's cooling off downstairs. So it's time to make some supper. I am going to have to take this compound home too, because if I leave it here it'll freeze probably. So that sucks, but I'm going to have to take it home. Not a big deal, but hope I don't forget to bring it back. So there. How nice is that? One side is looking pretty good. So, and I forgot one nail hole. Look at that. Nobody pointed that out. Come on, guys. I forgot one. Pretty obvious too, eh? Once you look for it, there's a big one right there. Ah. Nice. There. Fantastic. I've had enough for one day. I'm going to take it easy. It's 10 to 6. So yeah, I've done more. Well, again, I only got it half done, but at least it's taped. It's the first coat is on. I'm not worried about that gap again. There's going to be wood in there, so let's get back downstairs. I've had enough of this place for one day. Whew. Brutal. Well, here we go, everybody. Excuse me. Here we go. It's time to get supper on. I'm going to use my griddle thing again here. You guys might have saw before. It works really well. My cast iron griddle, mushrooms and onions, and I get a Caesar salad. I hate to mix that Caesar salad up because I can't eat all that myself, but and it goes, I don't know if you guys, you don't leave it lay around, they go soggy, they're gross, right, after they sit for a bit. But I'm going to put just a bit of oil. I've got 2 little small steaks here, a couple sirloin medallions they're called, I guess. They'll be okay. Price was right. I was going to marinate them. And then today I get up there and just totally lost track of time. And all the others, so they're not a couple bad looking little steaks, huh? Decent, be a decent meal for supper, for sure. These will be good. They're nice looking steaks. Not a lot of marbleizing in them though, but they'll still be good, I think. Hopefully they're not too tough. But we'll get these warmed up a little, and then I'll get this thing hot, and we'll throw them on. Probably 6 minutes aside. I normally cook my steaks at. There we go. I need to mount another light over top of my range here, so I don't shadow everything so bad. It's probably harder to see in video. I'm not sure actually, but I guess they normally don't come out too bad. We're going to get this bad boy hot, and I don't want it too hot. Pretty easy to get it too hot. Medium is a lot of heat. Let her warm up for probably 5 or 6 minutes, and then the steaks will go on. By then this should be ready, hopefully. Mushrooms are at their peak. I had to cook them. They were going to be going bad. I could eat a tray or a plate of them for dinner. Just those mushrooms and onions, boys, I'll tell you. That's all you really need. I'm even going to put a little bit of a spice in them. Give them a little zing, a little Mrs. Dash, they call it. It's a spice. Why not? What the hell? Smells good. Smells really good, eh? So it was quite a day. I didn't get as much done as I hoped, but you know, a lot of times you never do. I'm really bad on time estimation sometimes. But again, I didn't even start at it till almost lunchtime. If I had gone at it really hard, I could have had it done, you know, both sides today, but it was tasking to get up there and do her. Every sheet I put up, I didn't want to go back, but anyway, I will throw that together in a bit. Yeah, the sauce is in there. Romaine lettuce, Caesar dressing, croutons, and dry grated Parmesan cheese. And that sucks. I forgot about this. I'm not going to bother now. It's too late. I brought a nice little squash. I actually grew that here. Took it home. Brought it back. Going home again. It'll probably freeze. We'll leave it here. And I've got potatoes here I've got to take home also because they're going to freeze. I wouldn't mind having a few of them tonight. But again, with the salad and that, I don't really need any other vegetable, I don't think. So I'm thinking I'll be alright. I think this is hot. See what this sounds like. How's that? It's like a frying pan. Just bigger. I'll give them 1 minute each side to sear them. Again, folks, this is not a cooking show. That's one of my lowest skills that I have, I would say. One of my worst skill sets would be cooking. I have no creativity when it comes to putting food together. I really don't. And I would like to start eating a little better, because that'll be the death of me if I don't start eating a little better. Pastas and that, I eat way too much of it. You know, I went and slimmed right down last winter, gained about 25 pounds back this summer, and I can feel it, and I can definitely see it on the camera. I can see I'm definitely, I've gained a bit of weight, so I'm going to start working on that again, take her back off. It's not hard to lose. I just got to back off a bit. We got to flip these over here. It's definitely been a minute. Can I ever hear the wind blowing out there now? Real bad. There we go. She's blowing. Those look really good, eh? Should be tasty. Well, there you go. This stuff looks absolutely wonderful. There's my steaks, there's my salad, there's the whole schmozzle. Gonna sit down, eat my dinner here, guys. Should be very, very tasty. So, I will talk to you guys after I have supper. Just for a few more minutes. Supper was awesome. That was really tasty. Came out pretty good. Okay. I want to talk about car tire studs now that I had my supper. The last couple of videos back when I sat out on the porch and that, I was just talking about how running my studded tires, and I've had a few questions, now comments, wanting what tire studs are. Well, I'm going to show you a picture of my tire of my truck. Look at the picture. You can see towards the outer edges of the tires, see all the silver things going all the way around? That's what they call tire studs. So when the tires come new, they have to be a winter tire. The summer tires aren't studdable, and there's tiny little holes in there when they're new. And what they do is, I'm gonna hold one up and show you. I don't think this is gonna focus on it, but this is a tire stud. It's got a bigger head on it, almost like a finish, or almost like a looks almost like a rivet that you'd put into something. It's got two of them. I'm going to try to show you a little closer here. There's a Bic lighter for reference on these guys, for size, and you can see if you look real close, the very center is darker, and what that is, that's carbide steel, carbide metal, and what that is, super hard, and it'll actually help dig into the ice and scratch right into it, right? You take the tires that have these in them, and you take like a concrete floor or something and get the thing to spin the tires, you want to see the mess it'll make. And this is what they, like I say, these are actual studs. They've got a little head on them. They almost remind you of a little rivet, is what they look like. And that's all they are. Pretty different, eh? And the way it works is the stud gun, basically you hold it, it's got a tapered tip on it. This stud is inside the gun, and it's got fingers, metal fingers, that actually, it does it all in one motion. They run off air. They're a pneumatic tool normally, or the one I used was, my buddy has one. You put one at a time in it. It's very slow to do it that way. The commercial ones, they have a big thing on them. They just fill it full. It's like a big cartridge full. But I used a single shot, but what it does, there's I think three fingers that go down into the hole, spread the hole, and there's a pin that pushes at the same time, so it pushes this stud in, and then the fingers pull out, and then the rubber closes around it, locks it in. So you can grab these with a pair of pliers if you're real careful and pull them out sometimes, but they're pretty hard to get out. So once they're in there, they're in there. And when you run studded tires like that in the ice, absolute game changer when, you know, bad conditions and that. Black ice especially. Driving along the road, hit some black ice with normal tires, you're integrating in the woods. Studded tires, you're hooked right up. And especially the weight of the vehicle on them too, right? It helps push them into the ice. my side-by-side out here. I actually did them last year, and I actually left the tires on it all summer. I took a drill bit, and that's when I said I used my buddy's stud gun, right? Well, I drilled holes in the tires first and made sure I didn't go through all the way. And that's why I've got some of these left. I put car studs actually in them. They help some. Not as good as the ice screws I ran a couple years ago. I used to put screws in that the head stuck right out of the tire. So on the ice, it was hilarious. My ATV before this, the same thing. I could pull wheelies on ice on my ATV because they dug in so good into the ice. And snow, you could have, you know, lots of snow in there, and the weight of the bike would still get the traction. But with a car stud in an ATV tire, so little sticks out that on bare ice, they're great, which is what you need them for. And again, it's kind of why I did that thing, because the hill and that gets really bad here. No ditches out there, and you get that ice that rolls right down the middle of the road, and it'll freeze layer and layer and layer and get thicker and thicker, right? So it's good to have studded tires on my truck and on my ATV. We have guidelines too that they are allowed on they have to come off April 30th and October 30th, I think you can put them on. Maybe October 15th. I'd have to check on the date, but there's a certain date to put them on, a certain date they have to be off by. So where I bought these tires and got them studded last year, by April, the end of April, I will have to pull them off. So anyway, that's my little course on studded tires for you guys. I'm not going to do, much more video today. It's been quite a day up there. I've got a coat of mud on. I'm disappointed that I didn't get more done, but I'm not. I'm happy that I got as much done as I did. That electrical panel and doing all that took a whole lot more time to pull that off, stick it back on, and it's done, right? It's back on there. So the hardest part of that is over. This side will actually go a little quicker. And then once I get that all done and clean it up, I'll put some cedar up on there, but I probably won't do, I don't know. I've got some outside, but I've got it cut up for making planters. Garden planters, but I could taper it on the back side like the ones on the corner. I'm going to have my cedar this way. I'm going to cut 2 cuts with a table saw so it'll go right into the corner, and it looks like it's embedded right into the wall, right? That's the way I'm going to do it. Same with the peak. I'm going to run one right down the peak, run them down each corner up there in the gable end, and then I'll trim around the window on the gable end. That'll be nice barn board trim, the same way I've done the bedroom and I've done the living room windows. So I've got more of that barn board outside. And again, I'll run that through the table saw, cut her down like 4 inches what I put the trim on at. I won't have a windowsill on it up there. I don't need it. It's too close to the floor. It's only 3 inches above the floor. So the bedroom has a little windowsill. That window won't. But again, I got enough done today. Probably still going to be a fairly long video once I sit down and put it all together here. Wonderful support from all you guys. Subscriber numbers are ticking away. It's awesome to see. So, you know, join in and hit the button and join the club here if you want, and hang out at the cabin doing some drywall, doing some this, doing some that. So, just nice to have you people around here. It makes it a whole different experience. So, I really appreciate all the comments. And if nothing else, just live simply, remain grateful. And that's what it's all about. Be kind to somebody today, too. That means a big thing nowadays. People need that in this world. We'll see you soon.